Welcome back, my students from class 10. Today we will be doing the prose An Angel in Disguise. So as you can see in the title of the prose is An Angel in Disguise. Now who's an angel? Angel is an entity who's got the power of restoring something or transforming something for good. Like we said, guardian angel. Disguise, a look a person sports to cover up or hide his own looks or appearance. In this case, the angel was Maggie. She was crippled, so she looked nothing like an angel. She didn't look so beautiful. She was crippled, half paralyzed. But she had the quality of transforming Mr. Joe Thompson and his household for good. How she transforms Mr. Joe Thompson's wife, Jane Thompson, who was a childless woman and so devoid of motherly feelings, the story is all about that. So let's start. An Angel in Disguise by T.S. Arthur. Idleness, laziness, vice means immoral, bad character. Intemperance. Intemperance means overindulgence. When you indulge yourself excessively in something. Intemperance. Overindulgence. All these qualities had done their miserable work. They did their work and the onus fell upon the person who was in possession of these qualities. That was Maggie, John and Kate's mother, who was an alcoholic woman. She used to drink a lot. Therefore the word intemperance. And the dead mother, therefore, in a drunken fit, she fell down in the threshold or doorstep of her house and she died. Death touches the spring of our common humanity. Death is a phenomenon that touches the emotional core of our heart. During a person's lifetime, we make fun of that person, we might criticize that person, we might hate that person, but whenever we come to know that that person has expired or died, we feel compassionate towards that person. We feel the tinge of sympathy. Same thing happens here. This woman had been despised, hated upon. Despised means to hate for, hate. Scoffed at. Scoffed at when we make fun of somebody by doing like this. In a teasing way. That is known as scoffing at. And angrily denounced, criticized, abandoned. That woman was criticized by her neighbors, all the villagers, by every man, woman and child in the village. But now as the fact of her death was passed from lip to lip, as people got to know about the news of her death, it spread like forest fire. Word of mouth spreads faster than forest fire. Pity took the place of anger. The feeling of anger in their hearts was replaced by the feeling of kindness, sympathy and pity. And sorrow of denunciation. And the feeling of sorrow totally overpowered the feeling of rejection or criticism or hatred that they had for this alcoholic woman. Neighbors went hastily to the old tumble-down hut. Neighbors went hastily, quickly to that tumble-down hut. Tumble-down means a very simple and humble hut that looks like it might collapse or fall down at any point of time. In that way, she had secured little more than a place of shelter from summer heats and winter cold. She had a very humble shelter, humble abode that could only protect her from the winters and the deadly summers. Some with grave clothes, some went there with grave clothes for her burial, to take her to the grave. For a decent interment of the body, for a decent burial. Interment means burial. Dafnana, as you call it in Urdu or Hindi. And some with food for the half-starving children, 3 in number. She had 3 children, they were half-starving. Of these, John, the oldest, a boy of 12, was a strong lad, able to earn his living with any farmer. If any farmer would have adopted John, he would have gained because he was a strong fellow, who would have been a very handy, helping hand for any farmer there. Kate, she was between 10 and 11, was a bright, active girl, out of whom something clever might be made. If somebody made use of her like a maid servant, she would have come handy as well. But poor little Maggie, the youngest, was hopelessly diseased. She was hopelessly diseased. Her disease had no hope for cure. What happened to her will come to now? No now. 2 minutes before, a fall from a window had injured her spine. Her spinal cord was injured. She was half paralyzed. And she had not been able to leave her bed since, except when lifted in the arms of her mother. What is to be done with the children? That was the chief question now among all the villagers. The dead mother would go underground and be forever beyond all care or concern of the villagers. She will be buried. She will not be concerning any of the villagers. But the children must not be left to starve. They cannot leave the children to starve. After considering the matter, Farmer Jones, one of the farmers, his name was Farmer Jones, said that he would take John. He said, I'll adopt John. And do well by him. And he wanted to adopt John not out of natural human pity, but he wanted to adopt him to make profit in terms of a helping hand, in terms of John, who would have helped him in his farming business. So he was not a human being, he was a selfish robot. That is the basic essence of the story. We humans, we only think in terms of gains and profits, not out of humane charity. Alright? Since the mother was out of way, her mother will not be coming in his way, Mrs. Ellis, who had been looking out for a bound girl, a girl who would do servitude for her, would do service for her, a girl who would be a slave for her. Slave means a servant you don't have to pay. You can order that person to do anything. That's a slave. Concluded that it could be charitable. She was putting on a kind of mask as if she was doing an act of generosity. That's by adopting Kate and making her maidservant of hers, she was doing something charitable. In her to make choice of Katie, even though she was too young to be of much use for several years. She was too young to be a hardcore slave for her. She needed to grow up. I could do much better, I know, said Mrs. Ellis. But as no one seems to incline to take her, I must act from a sense of duty. She was showing the world she was being acting as a responsible citizen by a charitable act of adopting Kate. But no one said, I'll take Maggie. Pitying glances were cast on her wan and wasted form, and thoughts were troubled on her account. People were being bothered, but nobody wanted to take the burden of a paralyzed child. The sad eyes and patient face of the little one touched many hearts, and knocked at them for entrance, but none opened to take her in. Her condition touched the heart of many people. It also knocked the hearts for entry. She wanted to get a place in the hearts of people. She wanted to gain some love from the people, but nobody opened their doorway of heart to welcome this poor child into their lives. Who wanted a bedridden child? Who wanted a paralyzed child? Take her to the poorhouse. Poorhouse means a house meant for the poor and orphan people. Take her to the orphanage. Said a rough man, a rough-looking, well-built man, of whom the question was asked, what is to be done with Maggie? Nobody is going to be bothered with her, he said. Take her to the orphanage. The poorhouse is a sad place for a sick and helpless child, said another. For your child or mine, she's not our child. For your child or mine, she's nobody's child. Take her to the poorhouse. There was a reason in that still didn't satisfy the human logic. The day following the day of death, that means the next day, a few neighbors were at the miserable hovel. They gathered around the hut, but none followed that car. Nobody followed the hearse, the car carrying the last remains of Maggie's mother, which bore the unhonored remains to its pauper, a very ordinary grave. Farmer Jones, after the coffin was taken out, placed John in his wagon, took him into his vehicle, and he left. Mrs. Ellis spoke to Kate with a hurried air. She spoke in a very hurried manner. Bid your sister goodbye. Say goodbye to your sister Maggie. And drew the tearful children apart, ere, means before, scarcely their lips had touched in a sobbing farewell. The lips were open, they were crying. Even before the upper lip could touch the lower lip, she separated the sisters. She did that in such a hurried air, in such a hurried manner. That was inhuman. Hastily others went out. She was alone. Just beyond the doorstep was Joe Thompson, the wheelwright. He was a wheelwright who fixed up and manufactured wheels for carts and vehicles. And said to the blacksmith's wife, who was hastening off, she was also leaving in a hurry, it's a cruel thing to leave her so. We cannot leave her like this. Then take her to the poorhouse. She'll have to go there. Take her to the poorhouse, she responded. For a little while the man stood with a puzzled air. He was puzzled. How can anybody leave a helpless child like this? Then he turned back, went into the hovel. Maggie, with a painful effort, girl who couldn't get up from the bed, she put all her effort to get up, rise up from the bed because she was feeling desperate, she was feeling insecure, she was feeling threatened, she was feeling scared, she was feeling helpless, she was feeling helpless because of this inhuman society. She had to get up. A vague terror. Vague means a very uncertain terror. She was uncertain about her future without her mother, without her siblings who would take care of her. She would starve to death. Oh, Mr. Thompson, she cried out, catching a suspended breath. Don't leave me here all alone. Do not leave me like this here all alone. What happens to Maggie? Will she be adopted by Mr. Joe Thompson? We'll see in the next session. Goodbye, take care. See you soon. Now, though rough in exterior, Joe Thompson looked very rough from outside, very hardened man. The Joe Thompson, the wheelwright, had a heart. He had a heart. Other people, they did not have heart. They had minds. Brain teaches you to think logically. Heart teaches you to think emotionally. He had a heart. And it was very tender in some places. In some places, meaning in some situations, he was a very emotional person. He liked children and was pleased to have them come to his shop, where sleds and wagons were made or mended. He loved children visiting his shop where to repair and manufacture wheels for the village lads without a draft on their horrendous expenses. He used to do that for nearly free. It used to hardly create a kind of financial anxiety for them. No, dear, he answered in a kind voice, going to the bed and stooping down, bending down to the child. You shall not be left here alone. Then he wrapped her with the gentleness almost of a woman. He wrapped his arms around her, and in the clean bedclothes, he wrapped the girl around, just like a woman does. See, men are not that soft-hearted as women. Women, they have got a motherly instinct. Therefore, women are more gentle. But this man was acting gentle as well, out of love and sympathy for this bad situation-wise placed girl. Bore her out in the air across the field that lay between the hovel and his home. There was a field that used to separate his house from Maggie's house. They started walking across the field. Now, Joe Thompson's wife, who happened to be childless, she was a childless lady, was not a woman of saintly temper. She was not a woman who had the temperament of a saint. Saints, we know, they are renowned for their calm nature and temper. She was a very volatile woman. Not much given to self-denial for this good. She was a kind of woman who was not given to self-denial. She never denied her from any kind of pleasure to do good for others. She was a selfish woman. And Joe had well-grounded doubts. He had justified suspicion in his mind touching the manner of greeting he should receive on his arrival. He was skeptical. He was doubtful how his wife would welcome him, carrying his child in his arms. Mrs. Thompson saw him approaching from the window, and then the ruffling feathers in a very angry way met him a few paces from the door as he opened the garden gate. He bore a precious burden. He was carrying a precious burden, a valuable load of Maggie. She was precious because all children are precious in the eyes of God, and she was more precious because she was going to transform the Thompsons' household. As his arms held the sick child to his chest, breast, a sphere of tenderness, softness, feelings went out from her, and penetrated his feelings. A bond of father and daughter was forming here. A bond had already coiled itself around them both. A bond of fatherly love, a daughterly love, bond of father and daughter was forming here right now. What have you there? She uses the word what, not who. She's not treating the child as a human, but as a thing, a commodity. What are you carrying there? Joe felt the child start. She was getting startled and shrunk. She was getting shocked against him. He did not reply except by a look that was fleeting and cautioning. He looked to his wife in a very firm and stern way. The look was that of a requesting look, do not insult this child. And a cautionary look, a warning look, that if you do insult this child and treat her badly, I will not be the same Joe Thompson again. Wait a moment for explanations and be gentle. Let me explain. Be gentle to the child. And passing him, carried Maggie to the small chamber on the first floor. Then stepping back, he shut the door, stood face to face with his vinegar-tempered wife. Vinegar-tempered means sour temper. When we say a person is sweet in nature, this person is very polite, calm, and well-natured man. Or a woman. When we say vinegar, which is sourish in taste, that means the person does not have a good temperament. You haven't brought home that sick brat. Why have you brought the sick brat here? She said. Anger and astonishment were in the tones of Mrs. Joe Thompson. She was angry. Why did he bring this child? She was astonished. How dare he bring this child? I think women's hearts are sometimes very hard. Mr. Thompson said, normally women are known to have soft heart, but I think in some cases women's hearts are very stony. They are very stone-hearted people at times. Usually Joe Thompson got out of his wife's way whenever they had an argument, but today he said, no, I'm going to face it. Women's hearts are not so hard as men's. Joe, by a quick intuition means gut feeling. Intuition, when you feel something is going to happen and it happens. A kind of prophetic kind of feeling that comes within you. That his resolute bearing had impressed his wife. His determined and firm face had impressed his wife, had created an impression upon his wife that today her husband was not the same man, so she calmed herself down a bit. And with real indignation, he said, be that as it may, every woman at the funeral turned her eyes from the sick child's face. And when the cart carrying her mother's dead body went off, hurried away and left her alone in that old hut, with the sun not an hour in the sky. The sun was about to set. I couldn't have left this girl like this. Where were John and Kate? Asked Mrs. Thompson. Where were her siblings at that point of time? Farmer Jones tossed John into his wagon. Mrs. Ellis took care of Kate, he replied. Why didn't you let her go to the poorhouse if everybody was saying the same thing? She cannot walk to the poorhouse, said Joe. Somebody's arms must carry her. See, he's lying to his wife. He never intended to send this girl to the orphanage, but he's just telling her to pacify her for the moment. Then why didn't you go to the poorhouse? Why did you stop here? Because I'm not apt to go on fool's errands, because I don't like doing foolish people's business. I'm not a foolish man. If I would take her to the orphanage, I'll have to talk to the people there, the guardians, the administrators. I'll tell you tomorrow. Again he was lying. When will you see the guardians? Tomorrow. Why put it off till tomorrow? Go at once for the permit. Jane, said the wheelwright, with an impressiveness of a tone that greatly subdued his wife. He said in such a determined way, his wife's tone, her vinegar temper came down. I read in the Bible, sometimes I find much said about little children. He said, I have read Bible and it's written many times about children. How the Savior, referring to Jesus Christ, Savior, rebuked his disciples. He warned, cautioned his disciples to take care of children, scolded his disciples if none of his disciples took care of the children. Took the children in his arms and blessed them. And how he said that? Jesus said, whosoever gave them even a cup of cold water should not want to water. Even if you give a cup of cold water to a child, that person will be rewarded in his life, his or her life, or maybe afterlife by going to heaven. Now it is a small thing for us to take care of this child, at least for a night. The voice of a strong, rough man shook. His voice was shaking, he was getting emotional. And he turned his head away because he did not want his wife to see his teary eyes. Look at her kindly, James. Speak to her kindly, said Joe. Think of her dead mother and the loneliness of the pain. Take care of her. Mrs. Thompson did not reply, but presently turned towards the little chamber where Maggie was. He went to his shop, he stood near the house and worked until dusky evening, releasing from labor. He was working till late evening. After his work finished for late, he was coming back from there. A light shining through the little chamber windows was the first object that attracted Joe's attention. He saw a light was coming from the chamber where Maggie was, and he couldn't see his wife's face, he could only see his wife's back from there, and the girl's countenance, meaning face. So whatever conversation Jane and Maggie they were striking at that point of time, Mr. Thompson had to deduce from the facial expression of Maggie. From Maggie's face, therefore, Joe must read the character of their intercourse or conversation. He saw that her eyes were intently fixed upon his wife. She was looking towards Jane. And then now and then a few words came as if in answers. Maybe the wife was asking some questions to the child. But he saw nothingness of bitterness or pain. He understood that they were forming a good bond between themselves. So, his wife's temperament has come down. She was liking it. A deep drawn breath was followed. A heavy load went from his heart. He was scared how his wife would receive the child. But now she was receiving her well, so he was feeling good about it. We'll keep it up till here. We'll continue in the next session. All the best. See you soon. Alright, so continuing with our angel disguise. On entering his house, Joe did not immediately go to the little chamber. His heavy tread, his footsteps about the kitchen brought his wife somewhat hurriedly out. Joe thought it best not to refer to the child because he knew his wife was transforming. He didn't want to embarrass. Because when a person suddenly becomes good from bad, the person also feels shy to show his or her good qualities to the world. How soon will supper be ready? He asked. Supper means dinner. Right soon, she replied. After washing his hands and all, Joe left the kitchen and went to the little bedroom where Maggie was there. He started a conversation with Maggie. Your name is Maggie? Yes, sir. Her voice struck a chord that quivered in a low strain of music. She was speaking in a very childish, melodious way. Have you been sick long? Are you sick for a long time? Yes, sir. Has doctor been to see you? He used to come. Joe replies, but not lately. No, sir. Have you any pain? Sometimes, but not now. She replied. What have you pain? This morning my side ached and my back hurt when you carried me. So when he was carrying her, she was in pain. She didn't make that obvious because her mind was in peace because she was getting a shelter. It hurts you to be lifted and moved about? Yes, sir. Your side doesn't ache now? No, sir. Does it ache a great deal? Yes, sir, but it hasn't ached ever since I've been on this soft bed. She was feeling at ease and was feeling very comfortable. In the meantime, supper is ready, said Mrs. Thompson. Joe glanced from his wife's face to that of Maggie. He wanted to tell her that why to serve the child first. She understood him and answered, she can wait until we are done, then I'll bring her something to eat. There was an effort and indifference in her part. She didn't want her husband to realize immediately that she has transformed for good. She was feeling a bit shy to show her goodliness to her husband. What are you going to do with the child? She asked. I thought you understood me that she was to go to the poorhouse. Joe was also pretending. Mrs. Thompson looked rather strangely at her husband. A sonic moment. Sonic moment means moments full of heartbeats. She didn't want the child to go now. Then she toasted a slice of bread and softened with milk and butter, added with this a cup of tea. She took them into Maggie and held the small waiter, Mr. Tray. in which he placed them, while the hungry child ate with every sign of pleasure. Is it good? Asked Mrs. Thompson. The child paused with a cup in her hand and answered with a look of gravity. We'll keep her a day or two longer. She's so weak and helpless, said Mrs. Joe Thompson. In answer to her husband's remark at breakfast time next day, what needs to be done with the child, and that he needs to go to the guardians of the orphanage to visit them in order to get Maggie admitted there. She'll be much in your way, said Joe. He said that humorously. He knows that wife is transformed. I shall not mind that for a day or two, poor thing. Joe did not see the guardians, and the next day, for that matter forever, she became a part of their house. What light and blessing that sick and helpless child brought into the home of Joe Thompson did. The house was cold and miserable before. After her arrival, the house changed. The house becomes a home with the feelings of the people. His wife was emotionless, heartless. He was without a child. This child really behaved and acted like an angel in their lives, transforming the house for good. She had the restorative power or prowess or qualities to transform a heartless human into an emotionally corded human being. As for Joe Thompson, there was not a man in all the neighborhood who drank daily. He drank daily the precious wine of love, not alcohol. An angel had come into his house. An angel had come into his house in the form of Maggie, disguised as a sick, helpless, and miserable child, and filled all his great chambers with the sunshine of life and love. She came into the house disguised as a crippled child, but she had the angelic qualities that totally transformed their life for good. With this, the story comes to an end. Your homework will be from question number 1 to 11. Answers will be provided. See you soon. God bless you all. Very good evening to all my students. Now I am doing with you the poem The Patriot by Robert Browning. The patriot means the person who loves his own country, Deshbhakt. The Robert Browning in this poem depicts the destiny of the hero. What is the destiny of the hero? The rise and the fall in the hands of public. Today, Sir MS Dhoni is the hero because he scored a century. Tomorrow, if he scores duck, the same people will make him villain who made him the hero. Now, in this poem, what happens? A year ago, a war hero comes back to his country. He receives a heroic welcome, but a year down the line, he was accused of committing treason, Ghaddari, against his own country, and he was treated like a villain. So let's witness the journey of this patriot. It was roses, roses all the way. A year ago when I came back to my country after winning a victory for my country, it was rose petals all my way because people were cheering for me. With marjoram, marjoram is a whitish flower like lily, mixed with petals and was showered on my way. Like mad, people went crazy for me. The house roof seemed to heave and sway. People were standing on the top of the terraces, they were heaving, breathing heavily, and they were swinging around, cheering for me. It seemed to me as if the roofs of the house were heaving and swinging. The church spires. Church spire is the light. See, you can see the structure of the church here. Light that used to be illuminated. It used to illuminate the church during dark evening times and night time to show paths to the travelers, known as the church spire. Now, people were holding red and orange colored flags. Those colored flags resemble the light that used to be lit in the church during night time. Therefore, the church spires claim such flags they had a year ago on this very day. They're holding flags of red, yellowish and orangish color. It resembles the church spires on the flames that used to be lit in the church a year ago on this very day. The air broke into a mist with bells. People were ringing bells. The sound of the bells covered the entire ambience or environment, just like a morning fog covers the entire atmosphere. Old walls rocked with the crowd and cries. People were standing on the rocks, old rocks, and they were crying and shouting for me, as if the entire walls were about to shake. Had I said, people were so loyal to me that if I were commanding my people, good folks, mere noise repels. Just by making noise, you are not proving anything. Go and fetch the sun from the yonder sky. Go and bring me the sun from the distant sky. People have replied, yes, we'll do that. What else? My wish had been a command for them. My wish had been a command for them. Allah, it was I who looked at the sun. But it was not the people who brought the sun in terms of victory and joy and glory. It was I who brought the sun for them in the terms of victory, joy and glory for the country. To give it my loving friends to keep, I give it to my countrymen to keep it forever. Not man could do have I left undone. No man could have completed if I would have left the task undone, if I have not have achieved victory for my country. And you see my harvest, see my result now, what I reap, see what I gain. This very day now a year is done. See what I have become after 1 year. Now we come to the present situation. There's nobody on housetops now. Now the housetops are empty. Just a passage few at the window said, just Few old crippled people were beside the window because they cannot go, they cannot move. If they were able to move, they have also gone to the place. Which place? The best of the sight is all allowed at the Shambles Gate. Shambles Gate. A public arena where a person is executed for committing treason against the country or the king. देश के विरुद्ध गद्दारी करने की सजा है मौत. Behead करो या फिर रखा दो. Hang to death or behead that person. Or better yet, the better view was at the very scaffold's foot. Scaffold's foot was the very platform where a person is hanged. I go in the rain. I was walking in the rain and more than needs, and it was raining more than required as heaven itself was crying for my catastrophic, sad, tragic situation. A rope cuts both my wrists behind. My hands were tied. The wrists were tied so tightly that the rope was cutting my wrists. And I think by the feel my forehead bleeds. And I could feel that my forehead is bleeding because every man who had a mind that time, the only thought in their mind was to hurt me, so they were flinging stones towards me. For they fling, whoever has a mind, stones at me for my years' misdeeds. Because now I've been accused of committing treason. I was a war hero, now they are accusing me, labeling me with the tag of being a traitor. Thus I entered, thus I go. Thus, like a hero I entered, thus I am exiting like a villain. In triumphs, people have dropped down dead, but to achieve victory for one's country, people have dropped down dead. They have sacrificed their lives. They have become martyrs, shaheed. So maybe I didn't die 1 year ago, maybe I'm dying now. So I consider myself to be a martyr. Paid by the word, what does thou owe me? God might ask now instead, I will reply to God. After death, he's imagined a situation where after death, he has a rendezvous with God. He has a meeting with God, and God might question him, you have already been paid by the word. They gave you death. They gave you accusation. They gave you the tag of a traitor. What do you want from me? I'll reply to God after death. It is God shall repay and for soul. You will repay me my real reward. They have destroyed my mortal body, but you will take care of my eternal soul. A man sheds his body, not his soul. Soul remains eternal. So keep me under your shelter and your blessing, and make my soul as eternal as possible with your eternally blessed love. That's what I want. That's my real reward. Because deep down in my heart, I know I gave my life for my country, and I really love my country. I'm a hero. I did not die a hero, but maybe after dying, my soul will survive as a blessed soul under your blessings. So the poem comes to an end. Your homework will be from question number 1 to 6. Answers will be provided. Fight Corona. Stay well. God bless you.